want to talk about what's going on?
We're about to start her up. I'm nervous. Excited, but nervous.
I just noticed something. You got both keys in there. If you do that, it'll blow up.
It will?
No.
We're just gonna run it for a little bit, then shut it down, look it over.
Okay.
Here we go.
Smash your fingers.
Oh, it went right in like butter.
What's happening here is a cluster. The process of reinstalling this engine has been difficult.
Less than enjoyable.
Less than enjoyable. We're draining the coolant
Again.
for the 17th time. And the reason that's happening is it's complicated. I feel like I should wander around the shop and tell them the story, yes?
Yeah, I mean,
Let me go shop wander. Some of you may know that this car crashed and then it blew up and caught on fire and all kinds of fun stuff. A series of catastrophic failures has resulted in the need to replace the engine. Now, after many, many, many months, I think like 8 months, we received a new engine from The installation was performed here at the shop by this man. Thought there'd be more.
well, we got more plugs to pull.
Oh, intermittently we'll be spraying coolant all over Mr. D here. New engine got put in. Honestly, the installation wasn't that much of an ordeal.
No, it went really smooth.
Nice.
That wasn't bad.
Huh?
That was minimal.
When we have a problem, we can't put it on YouTube and get thousands and thousands of dollars. So when something goes wrong for us, it's sad. It's not exciting.
It costs us money.
Yeah, actually these things tend to cost us money. So the engine went in and it started up just fine. Now explain to the viewers what the white smoke is and why it's not alarming. Holy shiitake!
First off, like you may have mentioned earlier in the video, that this engine did come apart. So the turbos, the exhaust, the manifolds, everything on the outside of the engine is parts from the old engine. So we have oil in the exhaust components we gotta burn them. Also too, we have a brand new engine that has assembly oil over all the components that it has to also burn off.
Engine went in, startup went okay, and then the coolant began to drip down from the bell housing. Well done, sir. There's a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah.
And I don't know how
We have adventures.
interesting it is. We do have adventures, and I wish that we'd kind of documented the installation of this, because it would have been a lot more interesting than just talking about it. So the coolant was actually dripping from right down here. It was dripping around this area. Did you clean it?
Yeah, I wiped it off, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We had coolant dripping off of here, and it was pretty substantial at first. And then it just went away. And then I feel like it came back and it was substantial, and then it just sort of went away again. And Mr. D spent quite a bit of time trying to hunt that down. So we pressurized it, it didn't leak. One thing that was concerning is this bell housing bolt seemed to have, well, around the bolt, there was some coolant dripping. Mr. D removed the bolt, and the end of the bolt appeared to be wet. And then when we put air into the bolt hole, I think that's the technical term, a lot of coolant came out. And then it hasn't really, I mean, there's like little tiny drips, but it hasn't really leaked much since then. Now what we're doing is draining the coolant, and we're going to create a vacuum in the coolant system and see if that causes any leaks. What's the thinking there?
We've tried pressurizing it. We're gonna put it in the vacuum, so if it doesn't leak, we can suck all the coolant in and fill the system properly. But sometimes when you go into a vacuum, it'll present a leak that it doesn't when it's pressurized, or it'll make it easier to find. So it's just another way of doing everything that we've done.
Basically, engine in, coolant leak, very, very hard coolant leak to trace. Walk me through the worst case scenario. So I can make a non-clickbaity title that has some substance. Like, for example, is our block cracked? Do we have a head gasket issue? What's the other thing?
Do we have a freeze plug that's not sealed?
Freeze plug. Okay, yeah, so it could be a freeze plug. Cracked coolant jacket, all kinds of fun stuff to diagnose. And so at this point, you guys get to join us on our journey as we hunt down this coolant leak in this 991 Turbo S. We're gonna have a good time. Yeah. We're gonna find it. And
we were down yesterday, but we got a scooter ride in today. We got some monsters. We're back on top.
I'm gonna show you the scooters. So there they are. We rode these scooters to a gas station and bought drinks. And then we actually did some racing of traffic.
Illegal racing.
Okay, I'm gonna edit that.
Sorry.
So now we're gonna put the system into a vacuum. If nothing happens, we'll refill it. And then at that point, if we see a leak, I think the transmission comes out, and we can start poking around inside. If there's no leak, I think we just go ahead and we just push it out and start it up. I mean, we put the wheels on, holding this this bolt like a cigar. Anyway, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. We're wondering if we have a sprinkler system. We think we might, but it's too smoky to see up there. So if we do, hopefully it doesn't go off. Well, here's the smoke detector. We got these fans though. We're good. We're good. It's clear now.